So for another example, we're going to start with x squared plus 4x minus 3 equals 0. And I'm going to rewrite the quadratic formula. So I'm going to get x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And from here, I need to label what my a, b, and c values are going to be. My question for you is, what's going to be my a value? Well, hopefully you know that there is a 1 in front of this x squared. So we're going to get a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to negative 3. From there, I'm going to plug it back into my formula. So I'm going to get x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus square root. I'm going to get 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 3. And set that all over to 2 times 1. Simplifying this now, I'm going to get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16. And note that this is a negative and that's negative. So this should be positive. And I'm going to do 4 times 1 times 3, which is 12, all over 2 times 1. From here, I'm going to get negative 4 plus or minus the square root. 16 plus 12 is 28. And then 2 times 1 is just 2. We now need to simplify this radical. And don't forget, when we do that, make a little bubble to separate my work. I'm going to figure out what times what equals 28. That can also have a square root, possibly, and a perfect root in it. So, going through either a list of numbers or a number table, I know that 4 times 7 equals to 28. And we're figuring out what the square root of it is. And that's going to be the square root of 4 times the square root of 7 equals the square root of 28. The square root of 4 is 2. And we can't find the square root of 7. So I'm just going to keep that as 2 square root 7 is equal to the square root of 28. Because of that, I can take this number and replace it with that. That's going to give me negative 4 plus or minus 2 square root 7 all over 2. Now we can simplify this even further. And when we do this, I'm going to see what the common factor is. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. So now I'm going to get negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 7, because 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's all over 1, so we don't need to write that. And what this gives me now is I'm going to have x is equal to negative 2 plus the square root of 7, and x is equal to negative 2 minus the square root of 7. And that is my answer.